Happy Frugal Friday, everyone. You are not going to believe who I met last night, K-Squad. Like guess. Guess. Give me a guess. Just think in your head right now. Who would Kate be so surprised to meet in person? For those of you that have been following me for quite a while, you know that we met sort of online in an interview here right on the channel. One of my favorite people on the internet and in my books, Joshua Becker. I met Joshua in person last night. Many of you are already familiar with Joshua Becker's work, Becoming Minimalist, his books, his YouTube channel. He is a minimalist and he shares such an important message. And I got to hear it in person and I couldn't even believe that I almost missed this. Sometimes I'm really busy. I can't get to all the social media that I'd like to get to. And I just happened to see Joshua Becker was coming to Portland, Maine, my home state. And I was shocked. I was like, wait a minute, is this right? Like he's coming to Portland, Maine? Like that's not far from me. I was like, well, let me check this out. So it was so great. Got to give him a big hug. He recognized me right when we came in. And guys, first of all, I know you see in his channel, but he's devastatingly handsome. Like I don't even know how people can be this good looking, right? His family's beautiful. They were all there helping. His message was so motivating and moving. And I'm going to kind of circle this video around some of his teachings that really set in with me last night. So I'm going to tell you what we're doing this month. So get excited. We're going to have a month of Savetember. And I was thinking that this month we could focus on saving, obviously, in our finances, because that's what this channel is all about, but very closely related, save you some time and save you some energy because, some people say time is money, but also time is energy. Energy is time. So let's talk about how this month we can save ourselves from the extras, from the excess, and really focus in on what's the most important thing in your life. What is that? Think about that right now. What's the most important thing to you? Things that matter. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get into it. We're going to talk about 3 practical things that you can do this week to kind of kick this off, okay? The first thing we're going to do is talking about saving yourself some time, because time is precious, okay? The irony of me telling you this story is it's not beyond me. The irony of this is, okay, the first thing is decluttering, right? Now, Joshua talks about, obviously, decluttering, de-owning. I did a whole video on that for you a little while back. I'll leave it on the end screen at the end. But on our way to go see Joshua Becker, the epitome of minimalism, we were trying to find Kaden's other shoe. And we opened that closet downstairs. You guys know the one that I cleaned out with all the games and stuff. It has grown legs. There's things, I don't even know. I was pulling out, there was Halloween costumes, there was a surfboard. I don't know what happened. There was so much in that we could not find the other shoe. I nearly had to empty out the whole closet, which was way too cluttered to find the other shoe, but we found it. Here's the evidence. We actually got the other shoe, and but it was really annoying that we couldn't find it. And I was thinking, this month, let's find the things that are in our way so we are not held back by the things that we own. He talked last night a lot about the idea of going for the low-hanging fruit first, because somebody in the audience asked during the Q&A about the harder things, the harder things. She was talking about like the certificates, and someone was asking about books that she has a hard time. Some people were talking about sentimental items, like how do we declutter this? He says, hold up. Don't start there. Why are we starting with the thing that is like stabbing us in the heart? Why are we starting with the hardest thing? And the thing that he said was, when you are in math class, for example, when you start a new grade, when you were younger, right? Think about when you were in school and you got your math book. I'm pretending this is a math book. And he said you flip to the back, right? The back of the book. And you are like, what is this? The back of the book. The back of the math book is like the hardest part. And you're like, why are there letters in math all of a sudden? I don't know how to do any of this. Can be discouraging. Don't start with the end, start from the beginning. So the task of this week that we're gonna do, go for the low-hanging fruit. Does everybody understand what that means? Go for the simplest thing that is not gonna be tugging at your heartstrings. Don't go for the jugular. Let's start with the simple. Let's start by walking around the house and where's the trash? What's trash? Like, what can you actually throw away that's not even gonna hurt a bit? Because you've got some trash. I'm telling you right now, there's some trash. Let's start with the things that are not sentimental, the paper clutter. Let's talk about your clothes, right? That maybe are not going to make you feel a certain way. Some of them will make you feel a certain way. Maybe if you're keeping clothes that meant something back in the day. But start with things, whatever the thing is for you that doesn't really matter to you that much, start with that. Why are we going for the things that are gonna devastate us? Don't go with that. Start with the low-hanging fruit. So this week, you guys, look around your house. Where's the trash? Where are the things that you're just like, I don't even care about this, it's in my way? Get rid of it. Sorry, I feel like my decibels just got really high. I get really excited. All right, the second thing we're gonna talk about, continuing the theme of going for the low-hanging fruit, the easiest, the least stressful, but will still make an impact. Let's talk about our finances. Let's cut out the things that are not going to hurt, okay? Go through, I know you've heard this, but go through the subscriptions that you've forgotten about. Go through the memberships. Look through them all. What is no longer serving you? What's extra that you don't care about? Where's that extra $10 going every month? Where's that extra $20 that you're just on auto pay, but you've actually stopped using the service a long time ago, or you're not really maximizing that service? Try to find one or two things that you can cut out. Or say it's your groceries are really high right now. Everyone's groceries are high. Let me back that up. Back it up. Back it up. Sorry, I've been dancing a lot today. We have this big welcome back event at school today, and my boss entered me into a dance off. Just so you know, that's where my energy is coming from today. I was in a dance off in front of the entire district. So there's that, but I digress. Back to the expensive groceries. They're probably going to be expensive no matter what, but you don't have to get the extra stuff that you don't need. There's some stuff that you just throw into the cart out of habit, or you don't really eat it. It just sits in your kitchen, in your fridge, in your pantry, in your freezer forever. Get rid of just something. What don't you really need? And again, not your favorite popsicle, not your favorite thing. Don't go for your favorites, keep the favorites. But let's get rid of the extras that are kind of like fringe, kind of like meh. You know what I'm saying? The third very important thing that we're going to consider in Savetember is your calendar, my friend. Why does this affect anything? This affects more than you possibly realize. Last night, when I was planning to go to Joshua's talk, I was excited. I was very motivated to go. But that is not how I normally feel about all the plans that I make. And I think you can relate. What plans do you have in your calendar that when you look at it, you go like this? There's something in there. When I looked at what I was doing last night, I was like, yes, this is so exciting. Those are the things that you want on your calendar, the things that light you up, the things that drive you energy. Listen, do you guys think I go out on school nights? I don't. I almost never go out on school nights. But last night was an exception because it was for something that I knew I would get a lot of value out of and I would enjoy. Those are the things you want to put on your calendar. The things that make you sigh, deflate you, minimize those. There's going to be some things on that calendar that you cannot avoid, okay? There's some things that you've got to show up for that are not your favorite thing. I understand that. But there are things on that calendar that you said, because you didn't think it through, said yes to without really processing how you felt about it, and now you're dreading it. And what does that do? Dread leads to less energy, and it leads to showing up without the energy that you would supply if it were something you wanted to do. I showed up last night. Ask Joshua. I was so excited to hear his message. I was so excited to listen. I could talk about the things that he was talking about for days. That's why I have a YouTube channel, right? Like, I love talking about these things and getting other people excited about these things and being with an audience of people that were excited about the same things. This is why we all come here, right? We have this in common. We like talking about frugal living, money, saving money, living below our means with a splash of minimalism. And we get excited. That kind of stuff energizes me. I couldn't sleep when I got home. I was thinking about all the things I wanted to tell you guys today. And when you fill your calendar, or don't fill your calendar, please don't fill your calendar. But when the things that are on your calendar, are the things that you really want to do, your life is filled with this, not this. You see the difference. You feel the difference. Raise your hand. Let me know in the comments. Do you know what I'm talking about? This week again, you're gonna take something off the calendar that sucks. There's something on your calendar that sucks and you're dreading it and it's not necessary. Cancel it. Get rid of it. Don't reschedule it. Nope. Okay, let's do a recap. First thing, if you forgot, I met Joshua Becker last night. I can't stop. Sorry. Let me be obnoxious just for this video. The real assignment of the week. In order to start Savetember on the right note, you're going to address your clutter. Low-hanging fruit, get rid of something. 2, you're going to get rid of something else financially that is not necessary and is just kind of meh. And number 3, you're going to boot something from your calendar that you're dreading, that's taking your energy, and spend that time doing something you would rather do more. When Joshua signed my book, he wrote, Kate, choose what's better. Choose what's better for you guys. Choose to fill your calendar with the things that energize you. Choose to spend your money on the things that bring you the most value. And choose to spend your time with those that matter most and doing the things that you enjoy the most. I've got 3 things to end this video. First thing is, please leave me in the comments things that you are interested in talking about in our community here for Savetember. What do you want to save? What specifically would be helpful that if we talked about this might help you the most, okay? So let me know in the comments, what do you want to talk about in Savetember so I can pick away at it and do my best. Secondly, you guys know I'm a reading freak. I just finished 40 books this summer. By the way, please don't, I'm not trying to I read 40 books this summer. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just sharing the joy that I've had this summer by not watching all the hours of TV that I used to. And now these books have just brought me so much joy. So please know when I'm sharing these, I've been sharing kind of like my favorite reads of the week. So let me share the 2 books. Again, I'm mostly into psychological thrillers. First of all, we've got my girl, Frida McFadden. This is The Perfect Son. This book, you'll blast through it. It'll be so quick and you're going to be going, it can't be this person. It can't be. And then in the end, you're going to be so surprised and really just love this. This was great. Frida McFadden for the win, always. And then I started a new author for me, Jennifer Hillier. This one's called Little Secrets. It was good, guys. This author is actually coming to my state this month too, that I might check that out. But lastly, Joshua Becker, if you happen to watch this, I want to say thank you so much for coming to my home state, bringing that amazing message to everyone. And also, guys, speaking of books, his new book is Uncluttered Faith, or his latest book. It actually came out, I think, in February. But please check that out if you're interested. And then, of course, things that matter. This one we've talked about before. I think this was when when we met online. This is when that book came out. So, guys, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on what we should do for Savetember, like more topics. And I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.